Two guys that I've known for Lord knows how long. It's awesome to see them play a series in the year 2024. MaNa obviously is still a household name in the European scene, qualifies for the Masters and whatnot. SortOf has been a little more invisible, mostly because he moved to Korea for a long time. I assume that he's going to move back to Korea again soon. Maybe it's just temporarily back in Sweden. But while he was here, I figured it'd be awesome to see him play some games. I think MaNa is the favorite, but I wouldn't count SortOf out. He does play a lot. I wish them good luck and fun. Two guys that I would absolutely consider friends. I've known them for such a long time, and they've always been so friendly. I love seeing MaNa at offline events. Always good energy to be around. Very sweet guy. How did the BASILISK boys perform today? We had to dig deep, but we did win. 4-3. Reynor MVP. He went 1-1 when we needed him the most, and then he was clutch in the ace match. That was a very good Clem war. I believe MaNa is ready. I told them I'm ready. We're gonna play Golden Aura first, Alcyone second, Oceanborn third, and then if we need it, Ghost River and Crimson Court to wrap it all up. It's gonna probably be an 8-hour day. What a nice Friday, guys. What a great way to start the weekend. Tomorrow morning I am gonna go to my local tennis club as there is a padel tournament and my brother will be playing. And as much as I like my brother, he's got a very big mouth. So I kind of hope that he plays against people that are really good. And I can see my brother get owned. It will be good for his ego. A nice little humbling experience, you know, on the Saturday morning. Well, don't worry about that tomorrow. And of course, we got an F1 weekend as well. So much fun stuff. Let's do it.
Let's get it on. Round 1. Fight.
In the top left side, the man who got incredibly unfortunate by playing Solar in lower bracket round 1. You can't really make that stuff up. And he went away with $0 in Dallas. The moment I saw that, I knew immediately I wanted to invite him and let him play a main event. Because this man deserves better against many other players. I think he could have had a bit of a run, win some money there. Representing Team Liquid. He's also a bit of a manager for them. He's a content creator. A Polish Protoss, MaNa. I think that will be announced real soon, OR. I think we are like hours away, guys, from Uncapped Games and David Kim showing their product to the world. So that might actually be live already, like that game show, but it's happening like any moment now. Throughout the night, you guys will see all about it. Just keep your eyes on Twitter. Like if you type in Uncapped Games on Twitter, you guys can obviously follow their Twitter. I'm sure whatever they announce, it will be announced. And I can also let you guys in on a tiny secret. They send a couple videos to some content creators, including myself, to already make like YouTube videos around it, and then we can show that as content. I have not done any videos because I have been too busy myself, but I am incredibly excited over that game. I think it's awesome. As I said many times, please remember these words. I don't think it's a Starcraft 2 replacement because it's very different, but I think it's an awesome game. And I think a lot of you guys will like it too if you actually get to play it. And you guys will see that tonight. In the bottom right side, representing Root Gaming. That's something I haven't said for a little while. The man hailing from Sweden, spent a lot of time in Korea over the last few years. Still a pretty active streamer too. Maybe some of you guys watch his stream. Great guy, very kind, handsome as well. It's SortOf. I've played one game, I think, against SortOf. On the European ladder. I got bopped, but that doesn't really say a whole lot. MaNa is a lot better in this game than I am, so just because I lose, it doesn't mean that MaNa is going to lose. I think SortOf knows that he's going to have to bring his A game here. Especially in PvZ, that I think a matchup that MaNa is pretty good in at the moment. If I think of what makes MaNa MaNa, and historically he's always been good with Immortals, Archons, Storm. Kind of feel like the current PvZ meta should be right up his alley. You hope it's in space? I mean, I'm not allowed to say anything before you guys see it, but I think you'll be somewhat happy then, mate. I mostly care when it comes to new games, new announcements. What I care about most is just that the game plays very well and that I like the idea, the pacing of the game. And that's what I really love about Uncapped Games. I care a little bit less about unit design and like a universe, because I'm not a fantasy guy at all, but I played Warcraft 3 every single day for like 7 years straight. But I do really like the unit design of uncapped games. I think it's cool. It's different. But I think as well that like ever turns into a successful game and we can start buying like statues, collectibles, that I actually really like that. And I would absolutely do that. Just like I've got a carrier, a battlecruiser, and a broodlord standing on my left. I think I would really like that of that game too. It's also because they have been incredibly secretive, Stormgood, where other games have gone for like the let's create as much hype as early as possible. Uncapped Games has been incredibly secretive. As the Oracle, by the way, after the Adepts is going to fly in, activate Pulsar Beam. -5 drones already. MaNa's going to be happy with that. When I got invited to LA, the same event that Clem went to, Parting went to, Zombie Grub, Todd, Artosis, Tasteless, etc. None of us had any idea what we signed up for. It was just David Kim and his team reaching out to us saying like, hey, we've got something, we want to show it to you. And until the Monday morning where we all sat in the room and they showed us a video, and right after that we could play it, we knew freaking nothing. The shorts right now are not worth watching, mate, because nobody is really showing you anything. But after today, that will be different. And hey, like, if you're not excited, Stormgod, you're not excited, mate. You don't have to be excited. I don't get anything for your excitement. I'm just letting you guys know how I feel. As we see probes dying, but at the same time, drones are dying as well. One of the Stalkers does get picked off. I think, no Oracle died. I thought maybe an Oracle died. 14 drones on the way, as the follow-up for MaNa here is a Resonating Glaive Adept, and it's very important for SortOf that he picks up on this happening real soon. Right now we have no Roach Warren, no Baning Nest. Roach Warren is gonna go down. Is that too late, or will it be in time? I never said that beyond Nidus. I said soon there will be an announcement, but that announcement was basically the announcement of the announcement. I mean, I don't know why you guys are getting angry at me. I'm just sharing my experience. I'm sorry that it hasn't been satisfying all your needs so far. Maybe after tonight you guys will think different, or maybe you won't like it at all, and then you can be even more angry. Like, whatever, guys. Let's move on. We have a whole bunch of adepts shading on top of drones and queens. SortOf does have energy on these queens. Roaches are not here yet. If MaNa had a few more adepts, and there are more adepts coming, this is going to be painful. SortOf is enjoying a 13 worker lead. All the drones are just bouncing between bases right now. None of them are really mining. And he's just going to leave. I mean, I get it, but I kind of wished he would have tried a tiny bit longer. He was still up a couple workers, and I think even if you're down a few workers, if you're building queens and roaches, I don't know if you have to leave there. I feel like that's a tiny bit early, but it's all good. I maybe understand the frustration if there's so many adepts with glaives, you're not ready for it, and you have like 40 drones transferring between bases, none of them are mining, you know. It's all good. 1-0 lead for MaNa. That simple, that quick. SortOf is going to have to step it up a tiny bit. It is part of the Summer Game Festival, Stormgod. I think that Kamachi, I believe it was Kamachi, just posted the link. That is a big game show. If you guys remember me watching the Summer Game Festival that's hosted by Day9 and Frankie Ward in the past, where they like show all these different games in a row. Today, Uncapped Games will have their segment in that show, and they'll show their game to the world. And with probably some information as well on when you guys are able to play it, enjoy alpha, beta, whatever they call it. All I can say is that I was actually very surprised how far they were with that game. I thought I was going to play something ultra ghetto, very standard, like we have an idea, is this good? But I arrived and I played a game, and I had fun. And I got owned by Clem and Parting, and it was great. And I did beat Winter, so that was awesome.
Round 2, fight!
Bottom left side, taking a pretty convincing 1-0 lead off the back of Adepts, Oracles, and then a lot more Adepts with Resonating Glaives. The man who's representing Team Liquid, it's MaNa. One thing, TBD forever, that I'll say is that it's not bad. It can absolutely not be your cup of tea. That's totally fine, understandable, because it's mega different than StarCraft. So there is a very good chance that you won't like it, but what it's not is bad. Like, I don't think you can play that game and say that it's bad. Out of the 30 people that were at the summit, and think of all casters, players, also players of different games, I don't think there was one person there who said it was bad. And that's not because, like, you're gonna fake your opinion or whatever. If you don't like it, you don't like it, right? You can just say that. It's not a big deal. You don't get paid. There's no contract. No one said it was bad. There were definitely some people who said, this is not for me. I like things about StarCraft or Stormgate or whatever that this game doesn't have. But it's not bad. It's very different. Top right side, the man who perhaps had a bit of a bad game won. But he's obviously going to try to bounce back and turn it into something. Representing Root Gaming, our Swedish Zerg, SortOf. Would have liked to see a tiny bit more fighting spirit coming out of the man from Sweden, but it's all good. If he wants to save his energy to put on a great show in game 2, 3, 4, and 5, we'll take it. Hello, Zitranir. A drone kill would have been big here. I don't think I've ever lost a game where my first probe goes to the other side of the map and I randomly kill a drone. It feels like game over immediately. My insanity should come back from SC2. I think this is the first year in, I want to say like 6-7 years, that StarCraft 2 salaries have gone up tremendously for a lot of StarCraft 2 players. And the reason, of course, is the Esports World Cup. A lot of different orgs got interested in StarCraft. We had so many new orgs joining, like Navi, Virtuous Pro. There are many others that are trying, that have DM'd me and spoke to players. Think of some of the Saudi Arabian orgs, like Twisted Minds, Falcons. It would be tough for my insanity to casually make a comeback and sign a couple great StarCraft 2 players. But yeah, I think it's awesome as well. It's great for a lot of these guys that have been so good at this game for a long time. They deserve it. What would be a good average salary for pros in SC2? Like, I don't mind giving you some answers, but it's hard for me to answer a question like that. Because who is a pro in your eyes? Are you talking about Reynor, Clem, Serral? Or are you talking about MaNa, SortOf, Forge Yumi, Battlebee, right? There's a night and day difference between those. But if I would have to guess, I would say like top players in the foreign scene, at least like 4 or 5k a month at the moment. League of Legends rank 50, that's gonna be probably less than $1,000. There's a massive difference between the top players and guys below that. As these two adepts are gonna get surrounded, 5 drones have died to the Oracle, so that's painful. Let's hope that these links are gonna be a little bit more successful, and they are kind of successful for SortOf. But even like if you look at a League of Legends rank 50, the salaries are going to be all over the place. And I'm obviously not going to single out individuals. But if you think of rank 50 at League of Legends, but you've got a big following, you've got a stream, you've got a YouTube channel, you can make really good money. At least like thousands of dollars a month alone of salary. If you're rank 50 at League of Legends, but you don't do anything like that, you can be lucky if you get $500, you know? If you... If that makes any sense. StarCraft 2 is a little bit unfair in that regard, where it is really important that unless you're world class, that you have a following. I hope that helps. Someone said, what is MaNa doing? Is he AFK? Well, he was microing his Oracle on the other side of the map. Sometimes StarCraft 2 observing can be a little bit brutal. If I look at one side where somebody gets bopped, that's because they're doing something else. On the other side of the map, that's good. We were looking at MaNa losing 2 adepts and a pilot for nothing, but in return he killed 5 drones with his Oracle. I wouldn't say it's quite top 5, Eddie, but on the like the top 12, top 14, I would absolutely agree, yeah. And sometimes there's also just a little bit of lady luck involved, right? Just like in real life, you have people who do similar jobs and one job is going to pay a lot more than the other. And it's not even necessarily depending on where you live. It's just sometimes you get a little bit lucky. Starcraft 2 or esports in general is no different in that regard. Yeah, I think that's a decent assumption. I think Scarlett is very good, obviously. But yeah, there will be people who are maybe similar to skill in Scarlett, but are not on as good of a team as the Shopify Rebellion. It also depends what kind of team you're on. Like Shopify Rebellion is just a world-class organization with obviously great support and a lot of resources. So just the moment you're there, then it doesn't really matter, right, how much following you have. If you're on the Rebellion, you're doing something right. SortOf really needs to make sure that he takes a good fight against these Blink Stalkers. It's not going to be easy. MaNa is in his face. If we can just push him down the ramp, it's going to be a bit more doable. Taking this gold as the fourth. I'm kind of worried as we have 2-1/2 shading off into the natural as well. MaNa is really showing us, guys, that the Dream Masters Dallas was an unlucky one. Losing a PvP to Showdown can happen. Losing to Solar, that can happen to literally anybody on this planet. MaNa's looking really good here. SortOf is up 30 army supplies. If all of these units start coming out and we start battling, this game doesn't have to be over yet. Yeah, nobody really wants to be a 3-base Roach Hydra player. Thank you, by the way, Airbus, for the 36 months, mate. 3 years and counting. Too many more. And hello, Miss Cavera. I was actually thinking of you literally like 2 days ago. Because I saw your thingy. Skydiving stuff. I was like, I wonder how Miss Cavera is doing. Hope she's doing good. Staying safe. With all your crazy hobbies. It's all good, Citrone. I know you mean well. Don't worry. Robo Bay and second Robo on the way for MaNa. It's obviously a mix between Immortals and Colossus, even Disruptors. All of the units out of the Robo Bay are going to be fantastic against the current army comp of SortOf. SortOf got a big ass army. Can't really look at 150. Oh man, if all of these units would be here. I mean, maybe attacking up this ramp into cannons and stasis traps is not really the play. But if you can swing around to this area, you can start like maybe fighting in this sweet spot. There is a chance, but SortOf really needs to make sure that all of his units are here. MaNa has so much micro potential, right, in his Blink Stalkers. Man, that's so much supply SortOf that you're keeping at home, my friend. I feel like that's a few too many roaches to keep at home. MaNa's got his first Disruptor on the way. SortOf is a long ways off. A Hive, Vipers. Ricky is in a bit of trouble. Double Robo is up. Cannons, batteries. A fourth base coming online from MaNa. Our Polish dinosaur is absolutely flying here. And SortOf, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. You can obviously always just try to survive on your big army at this point and make it up to Hive. I think it's safe to... Oh, double kill on the Oracles would be sick, but he doesn't get it. MaNa too quick. Yeah, maybe you get a Hive online, you get a couple Vipers out, anything is possible. But at this point, this is the kind of game that without Vipers, you are never, ever, ever winning it. Oh, this could be so painful, but it's not. Oh, look at them links. We got 3 probes, guys. It's something. It's not a whole lot, but it's something. It's an honest day work. MaNa's banking up a lot of Zealots. SortOf did leave many roaches behind early. He's gonna have to micro a little bit, by the way. This is not like 4 Zealots that you can just stand there and aim move. It's a few more, but with Hydras coming out as well, that will be useful. Battling this army, that was gonna be hard. 131 army supply. Something that Sue and Dark would be proud of. Unfortunately, without Vipers, it still seems a bit underwhelming. Zealots have now successfully made it into the natural, into the main base. War Prism took a bit of a beating from a Spore Crawler, I guess. Kill it with the Hydras. I could have killed it, mate. These are the tiny opportunities that if you get them as a Zerg, you need to capitalize on it. You don't want to ever be shooting at a Zealot there. You need to kill that War Prism. I have offered my observing duties to Home Story Cup today. Unfortunately, it seemed like there wasn't really a budget in making, like, Nyo was not available, and Mapu is obviously in Japan, and flying somebody over from Japan ain't cheap. So they thought that they should just let the... that's a big Nova. They should just let the casters on the couch observe, but I can guarantee you guys that that would be very painful to watch. So I think what we're going to do instead is that we'll still have the observing setup, and that I'll do some of the observing, and I'm just going to coach 4 of my friends on how to observe. And then maybe ask like a pro player every now and then if they want to observe one. And I still think that will be a lot better. It will be more fun for the casters as well, so the casters don't have to worry about observing. It will be better for the viewers at home. It will be better for the casters. And sure, it might not be as good as Mapu and Y'all, but it's going to be pretty close. Unless it's me who's doing the observing, then it's going to be even better. But I got to cast too, guys. Can't have it all. If you want to come to Home Story Cup, Eddie, I can give you a little speed course on how to observe. You can make it happen, mate. Yeah, Winghead, I can ask you too. I mean, I might have to give you a little tip as Novas are connecting here and there. Roach is getting blown up. Sort of kind of running into a brick wall, but we are at least getting a bit of a game. Like, as long as the Zerg is maxed out and you give them Vipers, you give them Lurkers, I'm always a tiny bit of a believer. Like, I am not going to tell you guys that I think SortOf is winning, because that would be a lie, of course. MaNa is playing a really good game, and he's been ahead. And I almost feel like he's putting on a tiny bit of a show, to be completely honest. Oh no, SortOf the Vipers! Not the Reynor, guys. Not again. Well, if we had a chance, it's because of the Vipers. We can just let them stand there. As MaNa now blinks forward. That's a lot of Lurkers still, by the way. There's 2 Immortals left. It is important these Immortals start shooting at the Lurkers, and eventually they will. SortOf still has a lot of Lynx, Roaches, and a couple Hydras on the left side, but they're not really doing anything. And just when SortOf had a tiny chance, he lost his Vipers, and that will do it. GG gets called. MaNa is incredibly convincing so far. There's no other way to put it. GG gets called. 2-0 lead for MaNa. I normally, before the people get sick and think that I'm really full of myself, I don't brag too much about my own qualities in life, but I do think that if you only let me observe, and I'm not talking about casting, memeing, talking to chat, if you just let me sit there and observe, I think I'm an incredibly good observer. I will not give myself many compliments, but I'll give myself that, and I am excited to show you guys at Home Story Cup. Now, you won't really notice it, but if you won't notice it, it's a good thing, right? If you don't think about the observing, it means that the observing is good. And I'll do my best to be a great observer at HSC. And I believe that I am. I'll take a look at it as soon as the stream is over, Miss Cavera. I will cover all those tiny details. I may miss them when I'm casting. I won't miss them when I'm observing. When is the event? Home Story Cup is in 2 weeks from now, basically. In 2 weeks from now, we'll all be already in Krefeld, and it's the opening night. Next week, we start the Euros. The week after that, it's Home Story Cup. Crash is on. No. I've observed many times in my life, guys. And it's always been great. Let's hope we at least get one more game tonight, because it seems like our marathon day of Starcraft is coming to an end. But I want one more. I don't want 3 zeros.
Round 3. Fight.
Top left side of Oceanborn. He's played a stunning best of 5 so far, and he's kind of showing us that there are still levels to this game. And even if Dallas didn't go his way, he's incredibly good. Representing Team Liquid, taking a 2-0 lead, it's MaNa. I agree, D-Garbage. I actually thought that Funka was always the best observer. Like, Adabizi was good, and I think Mapu is obviously very good. Nyal is very good these days. But Funka was always my personal favorite. I think Coca was good too. Indy is obviously very good. And there was another guy, and I always forget his name. A French guy that did Nation Wars for us. A French Zerg. He was like over 6,000 MMR and also incredibly handsome. Kinda annoying. He's good at the game. No, not Moman. Moman is not handsome. I think like Crow? No, not Yogo. Yogo's not 6k either. Fuck that. No, I'm thinking about like AAA Crow or something. Does that make sense? I think he was our observer for Nation Wars. Super nice guy. Pro. Yeah. Really good at Starcraft and also a very good observer. He was great. Bottom right side of Oceanborn. Looking at the main base of a Swedish veteran. He's down 0-2. Had his moments in that second game, but just gets himself too far behind. I'm gonna have to clean up that early game and take care of our Vipers if we want to make it hard on a guy like MaNa. Representing Root, it is a SortOf. If you guys ever want to know, when do you know if it's Reynor observing? The top left side looks like this. If you guys ever see Reynor observe a game, this is basically what you're looking at for like 20 seconds. And he's like, what, you guys can follow this? Like, no, Reynor. No human being on this planet can follow this. He's like, I saw everything I needed to see. It's like, mate. And no one else did. It's ridiculous. Next time Reynor is streaming StarCraft, they always do this after a game as well. And with they, I mean some of these like top tier upper echelon StarCraft 2 players. The moment the game ends, like I like to take a look as well. I take a look at the income, you know, to count the workers when I am in the player interface. Or you take a look at DT, upgrades, whatever. But a pro, whenever the game ends, they always do like this. And I'm like, I refuse to believe they can see anything. That's just that APM that's carrying over. Is clicking buttons because I do not believe you get wise here. Great Zergling micro by SortOf. Is it good enough to get the kill? It's not, but that was nice, right? A little bit of body blocking, got a lot of extra hits off. We'll take it. What's good, Roddy? Hope all is well. All is very well. I'm so excited to watch the tennis match back that I was not able to watch earlier. I do have Discovery Plus. The only reason I have Discovery Plus is to watch MMA. That's where I can watch all the UFC pay-per-views in the Netherlands. And I always thought that I never would use that channel for anything else. But it turns out they also have the Grand Slam, so now I can watch tennis back. I think that's a great way to relax after an 8-hour StarCraft 2 day. I like this start, by the way, so far for SortOf. Let's hope that we can do good against... Mate, shoot at it then. Why? SortOf, why? These are little boo-boos, my friend, but you can't be making them when you play against MaNa. If those two queens are just like right here on the edge of creep and you start shooting at that Oracle will turn around. If you right-click it past it, MaNa is gonna fly in. And just like that, he kills 9 drones. That's such a stupid high amount of workers. The Lings are battling on the other side of the map, and it's not even going all that well. Gets the probe. I'm afraid that we opened the Big Brain Bouts with a 3-0. Where Upper 3 played a really good series against J Money Magic. And I think we're going to close this best of 5 and this evening of games with a 3-0 as well. Seems like MaNa is just a bit too good. I figured MaNa was the favorite, but I still thought, you know, SortOf with all the gaming he's done over in Korea. Mechanics still seem to be there. I saw him play a couple of pretty good games against Reynor's Protoss, and we obviously know that Reynor's Protoss is very good when they were both over in Korea. I thought like this could be a fun series. Figured MaNa would win, but I thought it would be a tiny bit more competitive than this. And obviously SortOf is not bad. You make him play against the Protoss that's 300 MMR worse, and he'll probably look a whole lot better. Unfortunately for him, MaNa is not 300 MMR worse. MaNa is still one of the best Protoss players in Europe. One Oracle died? No, not even. Thought he made triple Oracle, guys. Those were just, I guess, adapts that shaded into the natural. I mean, maybe we have a tiny chance in this game, but I'm coping a little. But hey, that's what we do, guys. In game 3 of the main event, that's when you start coping a little. SortOf sends out a drone trying to go up to 4 bases, but MaNa is there to deny it immediately. No active creep tumor either, right? Well, we have this one, but... Belt! No! This is like what my knife... Oh! Oracle had 24 energy. If I was a drone and I'd have nightmares, that would be it. You're so close to the spot, and then you look up and you see an oracle. And you start screaming, but you can't make a sound. Ah. Yeah, this oracle is gonna activate Pulsar Beam one more time. That's gonna be so hard, by the way, to keep this hatchery alive. Sort of really has nothing, man. And that has everything to do with overcompensating of the amount of drones that he lost earlier. We have a little Ling run by. Hey, it's a proper Ling run by. I might actually force a recall. Your MaNa recall? No. MaNa says, I don't really care, mate. I'm gonna keep on attacking. Tiny bit risky on creep against all the queens, but there isn't much of a Zerg army here. If there's ever a way for SortOf to win, it's in a scrappy scenario like this, but MaNa is decisive, blinks forward, guns down the queens, and just like that, it's a very convincing, clean 3-0 victory for a man of Team Liquid. Shame that it was one-sided and short, but hey, I'm happy for MaNa. MaNa shows us that Dallas was brutal and unlucky, and he's still one of the best Protoss players in Europe. And it's nice to see SortOf back on the European server, play some games. And I'm sure that against many other Protosses, SortOf would have looked perfectly fine. But yeah, MaNa just a bit too powerful, a little bit too good. Thank you to Ziasin for the 69 months tier 2. And shout out to BASILISK for the 20 gifted subs. And that's gonna do it, guys. 7 hours of 58 minutes. Yo, Cosmic. Cosmic is the guy who picked me up, guys, in Dallas and drove me to Austin. Very nice dude. And then we had a fun little social night. I hope you had a good time. It's a shame you didn't make it out to DreamHack. Or if you did, I didn't see you, and that's an even bigger shame. But thank you so much, amigo. You'll really appreciate it. I hope you know that. Cosmic shocking, guys. Great driver. Sweet guy. Did I miss the game demo? No. We do not show that here. I can take a little look, but I can host somebody if you guys want that is doing the... what is it called? The Summer Game Fest show, whatever. Let me just go ahead and settle that prediction. But I'm kind of tired. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Coco says, for my birthday gift, I want you to get Basilisk to sign me as a streamer. It's a small ask. I wish I had that power, Coco. The contract would be over. I would fly over to Norway, you know. These are professional meetings. We'd have to sign, put pen to paper. We can't just handle it online. You get that. But I unfortunately don't have the rights to do that. Well, I can throw up a ball, Coco. I can always let them know about the Queen of Starcraft that streams Starcraft on a daily basis. Bright future in many other RTS games. Unfortunately, I don't have the power to do that myself. Congrats to MaNa for winning $150 and winning this edition of the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts. Absolutely. Professional Coco, professional Roddy, suit and tie, suitcase. Watching you and Pig casting Reynor and Hero was a bit like Christmas and birthday together. Awesome. Yeah, that was first day, right? I always love casting with Piggy, guys. Pig is great. I mean, everybody that was casting in Dallas is great. But Pig is definitely one of my favorites. Alright, I think that's kind of all I got, guys. 8 hours of non-stop StarCraft. I am going to go ahead and wrap it up.